You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Tom Brady. A couple of things here. Of course, the other day, we all had to sit through, we all had to witness whatever in the hell that was during that Kansas City Chiefs Houston Texans game where by the time the game was over, there was plenty of outrage. A lot of people once again asking the question, or just screaming it from the mountaintops, that the NFL is rigged or the NFL is firmly got a blatant bias towards making sure the Kansas City Chiefs continue to move on in the playoffs, right? We all think there at least could be some reasons for that, whether it's Taylor being shown on broadcast or you've got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, what they feel like are the big superstars of the NFL right now. So that would lead the NFL to maybe look, Roger Goodell to look at the refs and be like, if you get my drift, and there would be some terrible calls. We saw them. I would play them for you again, but the NFL copyright hit me the other day for that. Thanks a hell of a lot. Or the broadcast did or somebody did. Nonetheless, we all saw the horrible calls, whether it was the Will Anderson hit, which was supposed to be a hit to the head, where he never actually contacted the head, or the two actual Houston Texans defensive players that took each other out and completely whiffed on Patrick Mahomes. Or you can throw in there the LeBron James-like flop that embarrassed a lot of people. And you know what? I'm going to show that right here. I mean, here we are right here. God, it was embarrassing. Seriously. And believe it or not, I don't think there was a call on that. Well, I mean, my God, did the check get lost in the mail? That's all we were wanting to know. So Tom Brady, the GOAT, has come out and made some comments on this, and he's been very vocally critical of the NFL and the way that the NFL handles defensive players. Now, in case and Aaron Rodgers has too, by the way. But Tom Brady has come out and said, look, what are defensive players supposed to do at this point? And he believes that it is just as much a responsibility of the offensive player to make sure they remain safe as it is for a defensive player to make sure they remain safe. But in other words, offensive players are putting themselves in precarious positions. And what is the defense supposed to do about it? Really? So Raiders minority owner Tom Brady is pulling double duty. And by the way, we got an update about his future as a Fox Sports analyst. He did a hell of a job the other night. He was really, really damn good. He is helping owner Mark Davis in the head coaching search. By the way, the Raiders hired John Spytek as their general manager earlier. He's calling the NFL playoff games in the booth for Fox. Brady has been watching games closely in the playoffs, and he gives his take on the controversial penalties that happened last week in Houston, the Houston Texans and Kansas City Chiefs divisional game. There were two costly penalties for the Texans that led to the Chiefs scoring. The one that really drove me nuts was the one where they were coming off the field. All right, it would have been fourth down, and that was it. But they called the penalty, and the drive kept going. Drove me nuts. Both penalties were when quarterback Patrick Mahomes was hit. Once well standing in the pocket, well throwing the ball, and the other one when he was scrambling, looking to gain extra yards, and he went down late, and two Texans players hit each other at the same time Mahomes was going down. Brady was asked if he had a problem with how Mahomes is officiated on the herd today. So he was on with Colin Cowherd. Quote, there is an aspect to it I do not like about some of these defensive rules, he said. I think I've been pretty outspoken, not just on broadcast, but in general. Troy Aikman destroyed the NFL refs the other day. I mean, he crushed them right there in the broadcast. I think I've been pretty outspoken, not just on broadcast, but in general over the last bunch of years. He was being critical of it while he was still playing. Both a quarterback is out of bounds and you hit them, and the reality for me is offensive players need to protect themselves. And if they are running at full speed and the defense is coming up, the only way to create a turnover is by force. You're not going to blow on the football, and it is not going to knock the football out of the quarterback's hands. You've got to go over there with force and knock it out. He's got some old school left in him. You are trying to create turnovers. You are trying to dislodge the ball. The only way to do that is by force, and there needs to be an aggression. I guess that's supposed to be aggression to do that. When quarterbacks become running backs and they are outside the pocket, they should lose their protection. Absolutely. And we are saying we are trying to protect the quarterback, but the coaches are calling more quarterback runs than ever in the history of the game. So who is protecting the quarterback, question mark? We are trying to say the refs should do it. I believe if you are an offensive player and you cannot protect yourself, or you're a defensive player, cannot protect yourself, if you do not want to get hit, you can go down or run out of bounds. But you cannot have the defensive player come in at half speed and run over the offensive player because he's afraid of a penalty. So, in other words, and we all know this, if you play football at half speed, you're going to get hurt. If you try to pull up, you're going to get hurt. All right? So, that right there is he hates it. And I can tell you, every non-Chiefs fan, seriously, every non-Chiefs fan that watched that game the other day was outraged. So, I mean, understand, Chiefs fans are doing this. It's us against the world, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you do understand everybody else is like, no, it's Chiefs and the NFL and the referees against the world. All right, meaning the other team and everybody else watching. So, and it's led to a lot of speculation with gambling involved and all these other things that if it's not rigged, at least the NFL is got a heavily handed wink and nod going on. And it's just been the Chiefs over and over again with these calls dating back to the Bengals and all that. It's just a nightmare. It really is. And it looks terrible for the NFL. So, Tom Brady on his future, because there's rumors going around, he's going to be leaving the booth, and Tom Brady addressed that.
Everything I read on the internet, Tom, is true, and it breaks my heart that we only got to work a year together. You're already leaving, so it's really hard for me. I swear to God, the interweb has you. I don't know where you're going, but you're leaving. Would you address that, please?
It's hard for me too. I thought it was a great run, one solid year. So, there's time for new things. And I figured, this has been totally mastered at this point. Yeah, I don't know where it comes from. I know it always says sources close to Brady or whatever, but I've had the best time at Fox. And I've loved every time going into the booth and working with such great people, starting with my partner, Kevin, everyone in our crew, Z, Roos, Aaron, Tom, who, everyone would probably know a little bit about. But behind the scenes, there's so many incredible people that bring the NFL to life. And to see kind of how it is from a different perspective, I've had so many years, 23 years playing on the field. I've watched so many games from the sideline view. And now I'm sitting up there in the booth and seeing it from a different perspective. And I've loved kind of just the whole process and diving into all these different teams. It's been a lot of growth for me in 1 year, and I really can't wait to see what it looks like in year two and way beyond that too. So I got 9 years left on my deal and maybe longer. You never know. If Fox wants me, then I want to go. We'll just keep going because it's been really fun thus far.
Okay, so he said he had 9 years left on his deal, and if Fox wants him and he wants to keep doing it, he's going to keep going after that as well. I still have some doubts about it. I do, because I wonder if he's not having a better time being the pseudo general manager. I don't know. king of football operations without the actual title for the Raiders, or football czar. We all know he's heavily in Mark Davis's ear on decisions, being a minority owner for the Raiders. And the John Spytek hire, that's a Tom Brady thing. All right. They were together at Michigan, and he was involved with the organization when Tom was playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, yeah, there's that. I give Tom Brady credit. I mean, he's crushing the NFL here, but he's also crushing players. He really kind of crushed Patrick Mahomes, let's be honest here. All right, hey, dude, you gotta worry about protecting yourself. The NFL shouldn't be worrying about it. And what are the defensive players supposed to do? Look, that's all professional code word for, hey, Goodell, that's bullshit. Let's be honest. Let's peel back the curtain here. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.